Circumference and area of circles. So circumference is the perimeter of a circle. That means that we measure it from one point, go all the way around the circle until we get back to the same point. Now, instead of having to measure that, because obviously it would be very challenging with a ruler, some very clever people figured out a formula to do so, and that formula is circumference is equal to pi d, where pi, well, we'll take it to be 3.14, although it is an irrational number, meaning that it continues forever without a recurring pattern. And d is the diameter. Now, we should know the diameter is the measurement of the circle from one side through the centre right round to the other side. So circumference is equal to pi d. If we look at a example, if I tell you then the diameter of this circle is 10 centimetres, then I can calculate the circumference by doing circumference is equal to pi 3.14 times diameter, which is 10. Now that of course means that the circumference is 31.4 centimetres. If we look at a second example then, if I draw another circle, but this time instead of a diameter I give you the radius and I say that's 10 metres. Well, the only difference here is that we've been given the radius, and we should know that we can calculate the diameter by doubling the radius. So the circumference of this circle will again be pi d. Now that's equal to, again, 3.14, but not times 10, but times 20, because diameter is double the radius. So times that by 20, and that's going to give me 62.8 metres. If we look now then at some more challenging examples, instead of a full circle, let's say we were given a semicircle, and we should know that's half of a circle. And again, we'll say that the diameter is 10 metres. Well, the difference here, I've been given half a circle, so my circumference will be given by pi d over 2. However, if we have a full circle and I divide it by 2, as you can see, I have the curved part, but I do not have the straight part. So in order to work out the circumference or perimeter of a semicircle where I have a straight edge, I need to add that straight edge on. And of course, to do that, I need to add on the diameter. So to work out the circumference of a semicircle, I'll do pi d over 2 plus d. So the circumference of this circle is pi, being 3.14, times the diameter, which is 10, divided by 2, plus the diameter of 10. Now that's going to give me 31.4 divided by 2 plus 10, which is 25.7 metres. And we'll look at one final example of circumference. This time, instead of a semicircle, we'll do a quarter circle. So I've got a quarter circle, and the radius is, again, 10, but we'll say centimetres. Now the circumference will be given by pi d, which will be a full circle, divided by 4, because we've got a quarter of a circle. But again, I need to add on the straight edges, and I've got a radius here, and a radius here. Now 2 radius is of course the same as diameter, so I add on the diameter. Now that means the circumference of the circle is 3.14 times 10 over 4 plus 10, which gives me my answer of 17.85 centimetres. So we're going to look now at calculating the area of a circle. The area of a circle is just the space inside. So if I drew you a circle, the area is everything inside that circle. We calculate area using the formula. Area is equal to pi r squared. Now again, pi is to be taken as 3.14, and we should know the radius is the distance between the centre and the outside of the circle. So if I give you an example, if we draw a circle, and this circle has a radius of 10 metres, well, the area will be given by 3.14 times 10 squared, which is 3.14 times 100, which is 314. But because it's area, our units are squared, meaning it's metres squared. What about then if I was given a circle, but instead of radius I was given the diameter? Let's say the diameter of a circle is 10 meters. Well, the area will be pi r squared, which will be 3.14 times, well, if I got the diameter, I half it to get the radius, so that'll be 5 squared. Now that's going to give me an answer of 3.14 times 25, which is 78.5 meters squared. And if we look at two just slightly more challenging examples, if I was given a semicircle and asked to calculate the area, well, again, let's say this is a diameter of 10 meters. Well, the area will be pi r squared divided by 2. But because we've been given the diameter, I'm going to have to calculate that using pi being 3.14. Well, if the diameter is 10, the radius will be 5, so it's 5 squared over 2, which gives me 3.14 times 25, 78.5 over 2, which is, of course, 39.25 meters squared. And our final example, we'll look at a quarter circle with radius of 10 centimeters. Well, of a quarter circle, it's going to be pi r squared over 4, which is 3.14 times 10 squared over 4. And that will, when I calculate it, just move that up a little bit, that will give me 3.14 times 100 over 4, which will give me 78.5 centimeters squared. And before we go, just something that might help you remember these formulas. What I like to remember them as is cherry pie's delicious, apple pies are too, just showing us that C equals pi d and area is equal to pi r squared. So cherry pie is delicious, where the C on the cherry is circumference, pi is of course pi, and the D for delicious is diameter, and apple pies are 2, where A is area, pi is pi, r is radius, and 2 mean squared.